I'd like to take a moment, if it's all right with all of you, and share a little story. But before I do, I want to say hello to all the wonderful people, the friends and family that are watching online right now. Thank you. We love you. Merry Christmas. So here is a story. There was a young woman, and she got married at the age of 18. She had her first child at 19. Shortly after, she got invited to a small church in her little town. And she learned about God and accepted the free gift of salvation for her life. She was on fire for the Lord. A few years later, she was blessed to have her second child. Life was amazing. She then, over the next couple of years, started helping with the bus children's ministry at the church, and she helped with a few Sunday school classes as well. And she lived happily ever after, the end. Okay, well, I wish that was her story, but it's not. Sadly, she slowly started drifting away. Fast forward a few years, and this young woman was going out more with friends, drinking and having a good time. What started out as fun, here and there, became a problem for her. Before she knew it, she was actually drinking every single night. The marriage she was in was a pretty tough one, and so by the time the kids were mostly grown, that marriage had ended. Some time passes, and she gets remarried, and she is very happy. But sadly, the drinking never fully stopped. Slowed down a little, but didn't completely stop. So after time, she was back to drinking every single night again. She woke up feeling hungover, filled with guilt and shame, the things that she said or the things that she did from the night before. Oftentimes, she really didn't remember much. She didn't have a deep and close relationship with God anymore, just kind of going through the motions. Her body was present in a seat just like yours, but her heart was not. Toward the end of 2020, she started having a lot of health problems. By Christmas of that year, she was drinking a ton. So much so that there were a few times she thought she might need to go to the hospital. But pride kept her from going. On New Year's Day, she woke up at 6 a.m., and by 11 a.m., she was completely drunk. She knew she needed to go to the hospital later that day because she just felt awful. And she felt awful all through the night. She couldn't stop throwing up, and she was beyond scared. The next day, she stayed home from work. She honestly thought she was going to die. All throughout that day, she was praying to God to forgive her. She had tried so many times before to stop drinking, but kept turning back to it over and over again. She finally kneeled by her bed and stayed there for what seemed like hours, begging God to let her make it through all of this. If she did, she promised not to drink for the rest of the year. And remember, this is 2 days in to 2021. I'm happy to share with you, she did make it. And she did keep her promise to the Lord and didn't drink the rest of 2021. That girl in that story I just shared with you is actually me. And that is my story. If God didn't redeem me like he did, I probably wouldn't be alive today. And I definitely wouldn't be up here sharing my story or holding any role in this church or being an amazing example to that precious little girl back there. Since then, every January 1st, I make a promise not to drink for that year. I also know that I need to make this promise every year for the rest of my life. I was sharing this story, just pieces of it, with a friend the other day. And I said something along the lines of, I'm a recovering alcoholic. And she said, no, like yelling at me, very matter-of-factly. And she said, you're redeemed. No one walks around saying, I'm a recovering liar or a recovering cheater. So for those of you that have overcome addictions, you are redeemed. You have been rescued. For those of you that are still right in the middle of it and you're going through it, my heart goes out to you. And know that God is ready to redeem you as well. This Christmas, you probably bought some presents, gotten together with friends and family, and you probably have a few get-togethers left before the end of the year. Can I challenge all of you to give Jesus a present this year? I don't know what you're thinking. What could you possibly give? Well, all of you is the present you can give to Jesus. Has he been telling you to give up something or even possibly start something? Maybe, just maybe, today is your day to make your promise to him. Thank you. Merry Christmas.